Welcome to Martha Hernandez Presents New Mexico Artists. In this series, we present talent from all over New Mexico. Music, art, sculpture, dance, and much more are showcased in each program. Martha has traveled all over the state of New Mexico and brings you lively entertainment and incredible artwork of our New Mexico artists. On this show, Martha visited the 20th Annual National Pastel Painting Exhibition. The exhibition is sponsored by the Pastel Society of New Mexico, a nonprofit arts organization established in 1989 to help promote interest in the soft pastel medium. It now includes members from more than half of the states in the nation. Martha is proud to help support the Pastel Society and wanted to showcase some of the talent of our New Mexico artists, as well as talent around the nation.
Start out with is an energy line, and once you have the symmetry, I've already done the composition because that saves me a lot of time. Once you have the stem usually connects with the seed pod. In this case, it's the spathe. Once you've done that, all the other pieces and elements really kind of fall into place. If you don't get that done correctly, you're going to be fighting with this painting, looking at it and go, you know what, that doesn't look like a flower. That's what usually happens once you get that, if you misalign the energy line. And for me, this energy line starts here and ends here. And I'm going to put a curve on it so that I sketch anything anywhere pretty much. Energy line would be the shortest distance between the root system or the root of the stem into the seed pod. So if this stem extended down to here, I'd want to make that mark. Usually that's the first mark that I make on painting. Is it your first mark that way? Pretty sure.
Is that just like a silver gold?
Because, again, you know how bad I did.
I want to know where you get the hole.
Pass it around. That's Italian, of course. I don't have. Wouldn't it be something if you had one of these with every color?
Oh my God.
I just use it to draw with because it's like vine charcoal, you know, there's some substance to it, and it does keep my hands eventually pretty tight. Anything else?
Where do you get those folders?
very old. They went up to this.
No, Dakota Terrace.
Oh, they could, there you go. They could. And probably Jerry's, maybe Jerry's does. Something's not right here. It feels like I should be like painting this way. Like Jenny. Jenny Kelsey, is that really? I should have gotten my bed of thorns. Really
Those dollies like the candy has for.
You know, I saw Bill Dolly painted on his head. He painted it, he didn't care. There's something wrong.
Obviously.
Yeah, yeah. Although that museum is pretty cool. Outside of Barcelona. Barcelona. My Catalan is very good, so. Oh, yes, sorry. Thank you very much, Nicholas. Yes, I use card paper made by Senoyer. It's been around forever. Big guy used this stuff. It's highly textured, expensive, but it's highly textured. You cannot use a wet medium on it. It's made with vegetable flakes, and you got to keep it away from insects too, because they love eating this stuff. And I'm using primarily the two. I use soft pastels. I use medium pastels. Terry Ludwig's, if I can afford them. Rembrandts are a really good in-between medium pastel. You cannot use hard pastels. Use them at your own risk with a high tooth paper like this, a sanded paper. It just won't last. Soft pastels love this. The last thing that I use for color impact are Senoyers, which are also expensive and they're French. They still make them the same way. They roll them like a good Havana cigar roll. That's what they do with the pigment. They actually roll one into the flesh. They say one at a time, but I don't know. Right? Anyway, I think I'm pretty happy with this. The other thing I encourage people to do is to walk away and before you start rendering, at least get the drawing right. And then you can make modifications. The wonderful thing about taping is that you can make modifications. And sometimes, and always squint at your subject. I've even worn or sunglasses at times in the house when I paint.
Oh, yes.
Yes, you see this for like the first time. Why are you wearing sunglasses? Watch. Why don't you learn part of beat generation? All right. I have no secret palette. I have a mixture. Essentially, I encourage people to see light and shadows in terms of geometric shapes. Simplify the shapes as best as you can. Once you've organized the shapes that you like, then you can start messing around with color. And the color is simple. It's recedents, which are cool, and ascending colors, which are warm. So it's real basic, warm and cool. And that's the way my palette is. It's not some kind of big scientific thing with values, and it's not very well organized either. It's pretty bad. But so what I'm going to do is make a few marks. I'm going to look at some shadows. This is pretty low, isn't it? Nicholas, what am I going to do here? What's wrong? It's too low. Too low?
Sit in your
Yes.
chair, yeah. Question about this.
Oh, sure.
Are oil pastels different from, is there a whole bunch of different kinds of, okay, so what's the difference?
Yes. Oil, do you know what crepe pause is? The binder in an oil pastel is oil. The binder in this is, there is no liquid in this at all, it's dry. So it's by virtue of pressure, and the binders that are used are not liquid. Oh, and another thing, if anybody here is deciding to go buy some Sennelier paper, La Carte paper by Sennelier, you cannot do, you can do an underpainting, but you can't do a wet underpainting. And I'll let Kay explain that.
The whole surface comes off
Completely.
You wind up with blank cardboard.
It's not even fun. This is a tricky one because there's really not a lot happening. Usually you have a light source that rigs shapes and defines shapes and stuff. There are only two shadows in this piece. And these shadows is shadow is only because the direction is ranging from extreme upper left to bottom right. So being artists, we can cheat. We can do whatever we want. We can create any light source that we want. So I'm going to emulate this light source, and I'm going to assume that this is a partial shadow. I'm using the cool because cool colors recede. Fill.
We're waking up over here.
I don't mess with backgrounds until I have the wonderful color scheme of the subject. Sometimes you work the whole painting. Usually I don't. And you can tell by the sound and the feel of it whether one of your pastels is too dry. If it is, you need to pretty much stop what you're doing. Because you will lose it to the paper. That's not fun. What I'm about to do.
So Vasily,
Yes.
why would you choose, or what venue would you go with the oil pastel or the drier pastel? With the,
It's just preference.
It's just
really.
preference.
Maggie, they're, they don't allow, do we allow white pastels in this show? No. It's a whole different deal, you know. Oil painters use them to do studies, to do color studies a lot. Pastel sticks are just great because you can just put it down. You do a study, if you're doing a watercolor or a pastel acrylic painting, it's just a really, really nice, quick medium. It's just fast. And oil pastel, but it takes forever for an oil stick to dry. I mean, has anybody experienced that here? I was confused. Well, anyway, I hope that answered your question. But did you get something? Did you get a gift or something with oil pastel?
no, I've had them, and I guess I didn't know the difference between the oil, having an oil pastel and this other regular pastel.
Right. It's, it's already mixed. It's just like a pastel in the sense that you don't have a palette. If you want to come up with a green, a bright green, you're not dabbling into your cadmium yellow and take your palette knife and get your phthalo blue or whatever color you want to make your green with. You're doing it on board. And you can do that with oil sticks, with the oil pastels. This is kind of nice sitting down. I've never sat here. It's pretty cool.
Well, that's what I assume they're more like
Yeah. They do the very
Well, and
worst.
they seem to be more unforgiving than,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
You better kind of like figure out what you want in your head before you commit.
Yeah.
Put it down.
Yeah.
But you can use it. You can use it on canvas. You can use it on board. You can use it on anything. You've worked on this a lot. You don't.
Just pastel.
Just you're saying the blue and the yellow, aren't you going to come out with the green? Well, you will if you keep doing it. And if you work on it too much, you probably will. Don't you just love the ugly thing?
You ever work at the side of the
I do.
pastel?
I work with Debbie. So he's completely combined cool color temperature with warm color temperature. The warm color temperature is butting up against the cool color temperature, literally. This guy, this paint was in Taos last year when we had at Nelson Rogers Museum, when we had our signature show. That painting was in the gallery, and he's got the only warm color temperature is a little light to the left of the church.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's it. And the sunset or sunrise, you know, you want to look at it. It's sunrise because I think that turquoise blue sky would be that turquoise. But, so all those purples and violets and indigos and blues are all cool, and it's just going to really, really set everything back. It's just going to set it back ever so slightly, ever so subtly, I should say. So be very mindful of all that. What a wonderful artist. As is Paul Murray. And there's a woman by the name of Mary Silverwood who has some pieces in there. But her shadows, she put her shadows in the onion one. They flashed it up, and it was huge. It was like 20 feet high up on the screen when they did it. The cast shadow, she must have, it looked like Walt Disney threw up on the shadow. And there were colors everywhere in this. And it was terrific. Not like her work. I mean, typically not like her work.
She's changed over the years too. Colors have gotten a little simpler
Yeah.
and more vivid.
Well, those were more vivid for sure. Those were older pieces.
I think they were. They didn't look like they were.
No. Well, she's not a Joyce Robin anymore, so, right?
Well,
Is
she's-
there
There
Joyce
is
Robin?
no Joyce Robbins gallery, but Joyce has control.
Those Santa Fe's, I tell you.
Oh, no, it's Santa Fe. So the walk away, this is the ugly phase for sure. There was some-
Come in other colors?
I'm sorry?
Is that paper coming on the
Okay, 7 different colors.
Hi, welcome to Martha Hernandez Presents New Mexico Artists here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And I'm out here at the New Mexico, the 14th Annual New Mexico Veterans Art Show with the president of the show here. And we've got some pieces of his artwork also. And we also have here, what is your name, sir?
Adrian Cisneros.
Adrian Cisneros, and you have something right here yourself?
Third place on a photograph I took at the Vietnam Veterans Memorial in Memorial Day weekend. And I'm there every year.
Awesome, awesome.
And I appreciate the third place.
Oh, well, great, great. Thank you very much. Well, thank you for tuning into my show, and the show goes on up until the 25th, 6th? 25th. All right, and next year, we'll catch them next year on an earlier show. Anyway, thank you for tuning into Martha Hernandez Presents New Mexico Artists. Thanks.
Martha also took a camera to the New Mexico Veterans Art Show held nearby. The purpose of this organization is to recognize, support, and promote the talents and skills of artists who are veterans, serving active duty, are in the reserves, or the National Guard. We hope you've enjoyed Martha Hernandez Presents New Mexico Artists, and thanks for inviting us into your home. Questions or comments can be addressed to Videos by Martha, that's all one word, @gmail.com. Once again, that's Videos by Martha @gmail.com. Watch for us, as we will be watching for you in and around our wonderful state of New Mexico. This is Gil Davis speaking for Martha Hernandez Presents New Mexico Artists.